Why your soft girl era might be the smartest business move you'll ever make. Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce like sweet softness whispered in French. And I am your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft and loving every single second of it. Today, I had the profound honor of sitting down with someone whose story will shake you, heal you, and remind you that your soft girl era is not the opposite of ambition. It can be the greatest accelerator of your calling and your business. Their name is Comell Haygood, and they are a living testament to the power of faith, resilience, and the radical choice to thank God even when the world has failed you. Kamal survived a traumatic fall through the stairs of an apartment complex, living now with serious back injuries from C3 to C7, and still choosing to claim healing from God. The owner of that complex is now in jail for running a Ponzi scheme, leaving Kamal unable to continue their lawsuit. Yet they stand here today, whole, grateful, and trusting God's justice over earthly systems. Kamal is making the world a better place by showing us that healing is not a detour from purpose. It is part of the assignment. They are teaching us that even when the systems fail, even when the courts close, even when your body is broken and the person responsible walks away unpunished by human law, you can still choose faith. You can still choose softness. You can still choose to build something beautiful from the wreckage. So let me share with you what I learned from Comell Haygood. And let me tell you why this conversation matters so deeply for every Black professional, every entrepreneur, every woman who has been told that rest is laziness and that pain is just part of the price you pay for success. Here's the counterintuitive truth that Camille helped me see more clearly. Your body, your nervous system, and your relationship with God are not obstacles to work around. They are strategic business assets. Let me say that again. Your body, your nervous system, and your relationship with God are strategic business assets. We have been conditioned, especially as Black professionals, to normalize surviving crisis after crisis and still showing up like nothing happened. We wear our ability to push through pain like a badge of honor. We glorify the grind. We celebrate the sleepless nights. We brag about how we haven't taken a vacation in years, and we call that strength. But what if I told you that sometimes God literally stops us so we can stop abandoning ourselves? What if your season of rest, your season of healing, your soft girl era is not taking you away from your success, but is actually the engine that will unlock your next level professionally, financially, and spiritually? What if the very thing you've been calling a setback is actually a setup for something so much greater than you could have imagined? Let me take you into the research, into the real stories of real people who learned this lesson the hard way. Picture this: New York. A charismatic former stockbroker named Henry Paul Regan Jr. He's polished, he's professional, he's got the credentials, he's got the smile, he's got the pitch, and he's promising everyday investors, retirees, professionals seeking safety and stability guaranteed returns of up to 15.5% annually from supposed Colombian precious metals trading and Affordable Care Act related insurance investments, guaranteed, low risk, safe. More than 300 people believed him. They trusted the credentials, they trusted the charisma, they trusted the promises. And behind the scenes, prosecutors say he made no meaningful investments in the assets he claimed. He used new investor money to pay earlier investors, a classic Ponzi structure. $50 million gone. Lives shattered, retirement funds evaporated, dreams deferred, future stolen. And why does this matter to you? Because this is what happens when we ignore red flags. This is what happens when we are so desperate to level up, so hungry for the next opportunity that we silence our discernment. We override the whisper in our spirit that says, "This doesn't feel right." We tell ourselves, "I can't afford to say no. I can't afford to slow down. I can't afford to ask questions." And that desperation, that fear, that refusal to protect our peace costs us everything. Comell Haygood knows this intimately. They fell through the stairs of an apartment complex. The owner is now in jail for a Ponzi scheme. Comell was left with back injuries from C3 to C7, unable to continue their lawsuit, and yet they chose to thank God. They chose to claim healing. They chose softness over bitterness. They chose trust over revenge. That is not weakness. That is spiritual warfare. That is radical faith. That is your soft girl era in action. Let me give you another example. Christopher Alexander Delgado, president and CEO of Goliath Ventures. He ran a crypto related Ponzi scheme claiming to be generating high returns from decentralized finance protocols. In reality, he took in at least $400 million from investors while placing only about 1.5 million into the exchange he cited as his primary yield source. 400 million in, 1.5 million invested. The rest, mansions, supercars, watches, designer goods, a luxury lifestyle funded by the dreams of people who believed in him. Investors, including professionals looking for modern wealth building tools, were persuaded by promises of high, consistent crypto returns. Many had limited technical expertise to verify whether the funds were truly being used as described. Victims faced massive financial losses, stress, embarrassment, and a deep erosion of trust. Delgado pleaded guilty, admitting he caused at least $250 million in losses. Here's the lesson: discernment is a spiritual and strategic tool. Even sophisticated, futuristic sounding opportunities can be exploitative if you feel rushed or pressured, if you're discouraged from asking questions, if transparency is replaced by charisma. Stepping into a soft girl era means protecting your nervous system, your bank account, and your destiny by refusing to enter agreements that disturb your peace or violate your discernment. It means trusting that inner voice that says something's not right here, even when everyone else is saying this is the opportunity of a lifetime. It means honoring yourself enough to walk away. And one more: Northwest Capital, an Ohio based investment firm. Four individuals ran a decade long Ponzi scheme totaling about $72 million. For nearly 10 years, investors were led to believe their money was being responsibly managed and would generate stable returns. Many victims likely relied on these investments for retirement, education, or long term security. 10 years, a decade of trust, a decade of believing, a decade of planning a future that was built on lies. The emotional and psychological toll of realizing a decade of trust was misplaced can be devastating, shaking people's confidence in themselves and the financial system. Four individuals tied to the scheme were sentenced, but financial restoration may remain partial. This story underscores a theme that aligns with Comell's journey. Sometimes harm happens in places that were supposed to be safe: a home, a staircase, a trusted financial advisor, an investment firm, a church, a family, a relationship. Part of stepping into a soft, healed, God led era is routinely checking the health of any space or system you put your body, money, or dreams into. Being willing to walk away from relationships, deals, or institutions that show patterns of neglect, dishonesty, or harm, and choosing healing over bitterness, wisdom over fear, a future that is not defined solely by what was taken from you, So, what are the three key takeaways I want you to remember from my conversation with Comell Haygood? First, your healing is not a detour from your purpose. It is a part of your assignment. If your body, your spirit, or your emotions are in pain, that is not a sign that you're falling behind. It may be God's signal to slow down, reset, and rebuild your life and business on a healthier foundation. The same God who brought Kamel through that fall and injury is the same God who can give strategy, clients, and opportunities without you having to sacrifice your health and humanity. Second, you can build a profitable, impactful life and business without glorifying the grind. Instead of overworking and overgiving to prove your worth, this soft girl era invites you to set boundaries with clients, employers, and even family. Say no to misaligned opportunities, even when money is tight. Create systems, support, and rest rhythms so your business doesn't depend on you breaking your body to keep it alive. That is not laziness, that is spiritual and strategic maturity. Third, God's justice and restoration can reach further than earthly systems, even when the legal or financial outcome isn't what you hoped for. In Kamal's story, the owner is in jail for a Ponzi scheme, and they weren't able to continue their lawsuit. That is real loss. Yet their decision to still thank God and claim healing is a radical act of faith. Even when courts, companies, or systems don't make things right, God can restore in other ways through unexpected open doors, protection from future harm, healing in your body, and peace in your mind. Your soft girl era is not naive. It is you choosing to trust God's restitution over revenge and strategy over bitterness. Now, let me bring this home. Protecting your financial well being is part of your soft era. You can be faith filled and still ask hard financial questions. You can trust God and still do due diligence before investing. You can believe in miracles and still seek independent verification, not just trusting someone's charisma or title. You can claim healing and still go to therapy. You can pray and still set boundaries. You can be soft and still be wise. For Black entrepreneurs and professionals who already face systemic financial disadvantages, avoiding schemes, protecting generational wealth, and guarding mental peace is essential. Your soft girl era is not about being passive, it is about being intentional. It is about honoring your body as a temple. It is about treating your peace as sacred. It is about recognizing that your nervous system, your intuition, and your relationship with God are not luxuries, they are necessities. So here is my challenge for you today. If you fully believe that God has already accounted for your pain, your delays, and even the injustices you've suffered, how would you start treating your body, your boundaries, and your business differently right now? Not next week, not next month, right now. I want you to identify one area where you've been pushing through pain, physical, emotional, financial, or spiritual, just to keep up. This week, make one concrete shift towards your soft era. Schedule that medical checkup you've been avoiding. Book that therapy session. Review your finances and step back from anything that feels unsafe or unclear. Say no to one obligation that drains you. Spend intentional quiet time with God, asking for his strategy instead of relying only on your strength. Write that one shift down. Commit to it. And let that be your first step into a softer, safer, more God led chapter. Because here's the truth that Comell Haygood embodies so powerfully. Your soft girl era is not the opposite of ambition. It is the foundation of sustainable success. It is the place where God can finally get your attention. It is the season where you stop abandoning yourself and start partnering with the divine. It is the moment you realize that your body, your peace, and your faith are not obstacles to your calling. They are the very things that will carry you into your destiny. So I'm asking you today, will you choose softness? Will you choose healing? Will you choose to honor the body that has carried you through every storm? Will you choose to trust that God's plan for your life includes rest, includes joy, includes peace? The world will keep telling you to grind harder. The world will keep telling you that pain is the price of success. The world will keep telling you that rest is for the weak. But I'm telling you today, softness is your superpower. Healing is your assignment, and your soft girl era is not a season of doing less. It's a season of becoming more whole, more healed, more aligned, more you. Thank you.